Guys, Coach Kurt. So this is a subject that I thought would be interesting to cover or should be covered. I just got finished watching a video from Martial Arts Journey with Rokas. You guys know Rokas' channel. He originally started in Aikido years back, ran his own school and everything, and then became disenfranchised with it, realized that it wasn't practical for real-world self-defense, and he started a journey trying to make Aikido work. Long story short, he ended up moving on to mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing and cross-training on a lot of that stuff. If you watch his channel, you know what I'm talking about. He's got an interesting channel. I don't agree with everything he says, but that's true with anybody's channel, and I would hope that you guys don't always agree with what I have to say. After all, I'm just some dude on the internet. You should be making your own decisions. But he just did a video, Jiu-Jitsu Destroyed My Leg for Life. And in the technique, or in the video, he's rolling in Jiu-Jitsu. If you don't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they call it rolling. In Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, or especially Judo, it's called randori, which is basically free sparring. I'll just be saying randori for the rest of this video. He was doing randori at a school. I'm not 100% certain if it's his regular school. He was there with his wife, who also does jiu-jitsu, and he was rolling with a guy. And in the video, he had mentioned that this guy had been very competitive and kind of spazzy in the past. Spazzy is the word I'm using. If you do grappling of any type, judo, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, sambo, wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. There's always that one guy. At least every gym seems to have one, what I call gym bully. And this guy was, being very aggressive, and then jumped in what is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu an illegal technique. It's basically, I call it the Miyagi.
Hey, what do you think, Mr. Miyagi, huh? I tell you what the Miyagi think. I think you dance around too much. I think you talk too much. I think you're not concentrate enough.
You see it in the Karate Kid. Miyagi does it on Daniel-san. It's a scissor takedown. I forget the Japanese term for it, but it's been banned in judo for years. And most Brazilian jiu-jitsu schools won't allow it practiced. I don't think you can do it in competition. I don't know, because I'm not a competitor. I've never competed in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I more or less consider myself a grappler over any particular system or style, even though I cross-train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But it's illegal in a lot of systems and styles, because when you're doing it live, it's different if you're drilling it and you're working with a training partner who knows and understands that they go with you. They do what I call the Aikido ukemi, where they just take the fall willingly, they go easily. But if you're rolling and it's a competitive situation, or if you're not ready for it, it can be it can blow out the knee, it can destroy the knee. And that has happened on many occasions. You've seen it in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially past judo competitions, which is why it's illegal. Well, the guy did it to Rokas, and it just destroyed his knee. And he says he might have permanent damage for the rest of his life. But long story short, he had also mentioned that nobody in the gym really came to him. The instructor didn't say anything. And it brought up something in my mind that needs to be addressed, the gym bully. And I've had this happen to me, where I've gone to train at a gym, and I'm going to spar with somebody. And this was it was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school that I was training at, but they also have a striking / kickboxing program there. They did. And when I went to one of the classes, somebody warned me, 2 or 3 people warned me, hey, when you spar with so-and-so, he's just a jerk. He's always trying to take your head off. And I was like, okay, thanks. But it was a smaller class, so when we were rotating, I sparred with this guy, and sure enough, he was trying to take my head off the entire match. My skill set was enough where I was able to defend myself and protect myself just fine, and I was able to keep him off me with some good teeps and some good techniques that kept him off me, and I could tell he was getting frustrated, and he kept just trying to just clobber me. I mean, he was doing his damnedest. And when he rotated to other people, he was doing the same thing to people who were less skilled than him. And he was an intermediate striker. And there's beginning strikers, and he was just clobbering them. My question to you is, if you know that if your gym has that guy, why hasn't your instructor done something about it? Why hasn't the coach intervened and at least one warning, and if you continue to be that jackass, then you just kick him out of the gym. Why are so many martial arts schools, including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so hesitant to intervene and take that guy out of the picture? Say, you're done. You're not training here anymore. You're too dangerous. People don't like training with you. It needs to be done. It needs to be addressed. If everybody knows at least one person at their school that's like that, to one extreme or another, maybe not as bad as some, but they're a spaz. They don't know how to control themselves, and they're always trying to win at practice. Stop trying to win at practice. It's stupid. You're there to train. Obviously, there's some competitiveness in people, but you shouldn't be trying to win at practice. And if you are the coach, why the hell haven't you done something about it and removed it? Worst case scenario or best case scenario, you're going to lose students over it. Worst case scenario, you're not only going to lose students, but he'll hurt somebody or she'll hurt somebody. But let's face it, it's usually a dude. And they're going to hurt somebody, and maybe permanently. And do you really want that on your conscience? Or maybe you're just that kind of person that doesn't give a damn. So maybe you shouldn't be running a gym. So my question is, why isn't this dealt with more aggressively in the martial arts community? We all know what I'm talking about. We've all trained. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you're that guy. Maybe you're the one that's a spaz. If you've ever noticed people don't like training with you, that could very well be the reason. So maybe you need to check yourself. And I say this with all honesty. Listen, we've all done stupid things when we're rolling. We've all gone too far because we're competitive, usually when you're younger. I'm 53 with bad knees and a bad hip, so I'm not trying to win at anything anymore. I train specifically for the fun of it. I have regularly got my ass handed to me by some soccer mom who's smaller, lighter, weaker, but she's been training jiu-jitsu twice as long as me, so she's destroying me on the mat, and I don't get butt hurt over it. In fact, you should be learning from that experience. And if you are the one that's rolling with somebody who's smaller, weaker, and less athletic, you need to check yourself as well. I'm not saying give it to them, absolutely, because they need to experience something out of the role as well. But take advantage of that moment to be as technical as possible. And if you're rolling with someone who's much smaller than you and you feel like you're having to muscle something, then you're obviously doing something wrong. It's not good technique if you have to muscle. So take that moment and work on your technique and let them work their technique. If you're holding a position for a little bit, but you're stymied and you're not able to pass it and get to something else, then just give it up. Let them have the top position. It will make you a better practitioner, a better grappler, and it's going to help them as well. And everybody wins. Let's talk about the enforcer. There's a lot of jiu-jitsu schools that I've trained at that they deal with that mat asshole, as it were, with somebody who is an enforcer. The coach will usually warn the person, hey, listen, you're being too aggressive, you need to back down. And when they don't, they send, kind of like in hockey, where there's that guy every team has that enforces the gym rules. I'm not saying I'm against this, although it shouldn't have to be this way. It should be like, okay, you're not listening, so you're gone. You're dead. You're dead to me. You're leaving my gym. Don't come back. Here's your membership back. You're done. But we know what I'm talking about. If you've done jiu-jitsu for any length of time, you know that most gyms have that enforcer, somebody who's a advanced level belt or instructor under the instructor. Maybe they're a brown belt or it doesn't really matter. They're usually somebody who competes a lot and is very athletic and very good and just a beast on the mat when they want to be. And they usually are the one that puts that person in their place. Listen, that's obviously a good lesson learned. You know, I came from the military originally, and sometimes the best lesson is a hard lesson. That's fine and dandy. But I submit to you that as a community, as a martial arts community, we need to do better. We need to find that individual and deal with it. If you are a coach, you need to deal with it accordingly. You need to just give them that warning, and if they don't listen, kick them out of your gym. It's going to be better for you in the long run. People are not going to be quitting your gym left and right. So I've rambled enough. I'll get off my soapbox. Everybody, please take care, like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you want to see on my channel.
Let's roll. careful out.